Hello. Today, I wanted to talk about cluster jewels in current Path of Exile. So after making my latest build, which utilized 9 auras and triple curses in a melee shockwave cyclone setup, and after creating an attribute stacker as my first build of the league, I came upon the realization that cluster jewels are kind of broken. And on screen right now, I will try to quickly explain why. So, for the sake of argument, I will not be using the attribute stacking cluster jewel setups that are extremely prevalent in current attribute builds, as I will stick with the lesser used, just raw stats that they can provide, that some builds take advantage of, but I don't think enough after the numbers that I will show. So on screen, you can see an example of a large, medium, and small setup that one could potentially utilize. And on these clusters, you get many different stats. So on the large cluster, you get attack speed, chaos resist, life, and increased effect. On the medium clusters, we get our required attributes, some all resist, again some life, and increased effect. And on the small clusters, we cap off our chaos resist, elemental resist, life, and again increased effect. So even though these cluster jewels to make would be pretty expensive, it's not impossible, given that in 320 they implemented the fracturing orb, where you can guarantee at least one of these 4 mods that you're looking for. And some of these mods are interchangeable, as if you don't roll chaos resist, you can just roll chaos resist on the medium instead of the large, or vice versa. And while yes, it is expensive, again, due to the fracturing orb, it is possible without a mirror's level of investment. So now let's go through the numbers to see how OP it actually is. So on the Excel snippet, you can see that for each node in the large cluster, you are getting various different stats, as I went through. Life, chaos, attack speed, and flat damage, due to the implicit. The medium giving life, resist, attributes, and crit, due to the implicit. And small being life, chaos, resist, and mana reservation, due to the implicit. Now multiply up all these numbers with the amount of actual nodes that you allocate, which is 10 on the large, 10 on the medium, and 6 on the small clusters, and you get total values of 386 life, 120 chaos resist, 194 elemental resist, 40 attack speed, 160 attributes, 48 mana reservation, 160 damage, and 200 crit chance. And I show the per node values in the comparison, where typically you'll have to use lots of pathing, thus you're picking up 10 dexterity or 10 strength or 10 intellect, versus if you're just sticking with 2 setups or just 1 setup of some of these large clusters, which do take quite a bit of investment with 33 nodes. But if you were to run just one of these setups, it would enable you to run 3 50% reservation auras. It would basically cap your resistances at 73 for elemental resist and 60% chaos, which would allow all your suffixes to be pretty much damage on your actual gear. And in addition, since not many people are taking advantage of this technology, I believe the regular implementation to future builds like this would allow for more double influence items to be present, like it used to be before Eldritch implicits came out. Thus, you'd be seeing a lot more Tailwind elusive boots, Frenzy Charge Culling Strike gloves, or reduced resistance maximum power charge helmets, as, like I said, resistances, attributes, and auras are already fixed using one of these setups. So, while some of this technology is being used mainly in attribute stacking builds and mainly in aura boss supports for the small cluster jewels, I believe in pretty much any build that you make currently, this is the best setup, if not extremely competitive with current setups. Again, this being all enabled because of the fracturing orb. So, if you have any comments and questions, put them in the comments, and I'll get to them. Thanks.